So I'm back. This is the first video I'm filming since having a long hiatus. I say long, about 2 weeks, because uni deadlines got crazy and I was working like mad. And so it's nice. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be back doing YouTube. I've missed you guys. I know I just put out a first law review, but I actually filmed that quite a while ago. I just didn't have the time to edit it. But as the summer comes close, I hope to get loads more original content to you guys, including maybe some more skits, some more episodes of Wrap Up. I've had a few really awesome YouTubers talk to me about potentially doing an episode of Wrap Up with me. So if you guys haven't checked out the podcast yet, please check out the first 3 episodes on my channel. And over the summer, I'm going to look at trying to get the podcast on other platforms like Spotify. So watch out for that. So today I'm talking about Piri Piri Mayonnaise. Piranesi, because one of you wonderful people sent this to me off of my Amazon wishlist and they didn't leave a note, so I don't even know who it was. So whoever sent me this, thank you so much. This was one of my favourite reads of the year, and now I'm going to tell you why. But first, I'm going to make a disclaimer. When I love a character and a tone and a narrative voice and a style, and when I really love the language, I'm very forgiving of certain other aspects of it. Language in a story can make or break it for me. So with regards to Piranesi, there may be things wrong with the plot, or there may be other things that I overlook because I was mesmerized by everything else. A beautifully written story with characters that I love will always skyrocket that book for me. For those of you that don't know, Piranesi is the second book by Susanna Clarke, who wrote Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I haven't read that yet, but she has definitely become an author that I'm interested in. I wasn't really interested in reading that book before, but now I'm probably going to check it out because this was great. Piranesi is written in a very whimsical, jovial way, and the story is given to you in journal entries written by Piranesi. And I mean, the cover is just look at it. Look at it. And honestly, I think that this book is best experienced if you don't know anything about it and you just read it. So if you're even a bit sensitive to spoilers, I'm not going to spoil it, at least what I consider to be spoilers, but I do think you should just go and read it. But I am going to be very careful not to spoil things in this book. I didn't know anything about this book, and I just read it, and I was really surprised. And it was a page turner, and I read it in like 2 sittings. It was the fastest I've ever read a book. It was just an absolute page turner. The character voice, the way everything was communicated to me was such a delight. And I mean, I'm not a very big theme reader. I feel like I'm a character reader. You don't have to be saying anything, but I do believe that the themes of Piranesi are some of the best aspects of this book. Because his appreciation for house, where this takes place. It's in a world called House, and it's very labyrinthian. And by viewing this world through Piranesi's eyes, you really get a feel for the wonder and awe he experiences, and how the beauty of this world is appreciated, and the themes about being present in our own world, and really learning to appreciate the small things and the tiny details. And it has themes of loneliness and belief. It touches on this idea in a really nuanced way of, is it okay if someone is psychologically ill if they are happy? And that's quite an interesting question to raise, because that could be somewhat contentious to be like, oh, well, leave them to it because they're happy, they're fine. This book doesn't tell you how to think, which I think all good books do. And Phil, any media that tries to make a statement and tells you this is how you should think about this, I'm always turned off. It's like, no, let me interpret this, okay? Let me make my own mind up. I'm not an idiot. Let me decide for myself how I want to feel about this. And the main character, Piranesi, I love him. He's naive, adorable, trusting and kind. He's jovial and curious and full of wonder. He's so lovable, and he fills me with this like nostalgia, you know, because as one moves into the realm of adulthood, you know, where nobody taught you about bills and buying cars and paying rent and this idea of getting a mortgage, even though there's no way in hell I'm ever going to be able to afford a mortgage. And this character takes me back to a time where the world was an exciting place and there was an adventure, and I miss that feeling, and I want to try and recapture that feeling, and I want to get that feeling again. I want to be excited about the world that I live in, about the future. I want to feel that wonder for the beauty of our planet and our world, and that's how Piranesi sees things. And it was really nice. It was really nice. I don't think it was just pure escapism, because this book is not just pure escapism, but I did feel like I was escaping a lot of the stress that I feel, especially considering I was reading this during all this university deadline stress. So I was reading this at a time where I was really stressed out. And sitting down and reading this book was really calming and relaxing, and it made me feel safe. He's one of my favourite characters I've read in fantasy, to be honest. I've seen criticism that he is too ignorant and that makes him annoying, and some people have said that they were frustrated that he didn't figure things out as quickly as he should have. But I would certainly rebut that by saying that the effect that House has on him as a character and on his mind is pretty evident. The prose is just wonderful. It really is a page turner. There are quite reader rewarding chapters or sections, because each section is very short, so you can just, oh, I'll read the next one. Oh, I'll read the next one. So I ended up actually sitting down and reading this for a lot longer. And some people might accuse that type of writing as lazy. Yeah, I think thrillers do this quite a lot. But then again, this book didn't really feel fast-paced. It reads very quickly, because these journal entries are short. So you're just like, oh, I want to read the next one. Oh, I've got time for the next one. And then I ended up staying up way later than I would have. I've also seen criticisms where people said that the big twists weren't surprising. But my argument towards that is that there weren't any big twists. We as readers were supposed to have been aware of things and knew about things way before Piranesi did. It's called dramatic irony. Or, in films, it's like Chekhov's gun. You show a shot of someone loading a gun, the audience knows that that's going to come back into play later and is going to be significant, even though the character doesn't know this. We, as readers, were aware of elements of the story and what was going on and the reality of things way before Piranesi did. I'm confused why people don't like this. The only negative I have with regards to the mystery element of this story is I do wish it would have gone on for a little bit longer. I think it was in the first 30 pages that I kind of figured out what was going on.
Oh, good for you!
Not completely, but I sort of was like, okay, I think that this is what's happening, because the clues weren't subtle. Another negative that's sort of a negative is there were thematic resolutions, which I appreciated, but there wasn't really like plot and character resolutions. There was for Piranesi. I just feel like the way the plot and the character development for the side characters, it was a bit lackluster. I felt like there were a lot of characters in it that didn't need to be in it, and a lot of names that didn't need to be there. I felt like they didn't add anything, and in the end they almost seemed irrelevant. Maybe I'm missing something, I don't know. The way the book wraps up, it's completely thematic. The last page really made me sort of sit back and think and simmer, and it gave me this feeling of appreciation and presence. I know that probably sounds weird and pretentious, but maybe if you read this book and then think about how the ending makes you feel and how the ending reflects the journey you've just gone on through reading this book, you might then understand what I mean about how it made me feel present and it made me more appreciative of the world. Because I do think that that is the theme. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not even her intentions. That's the beauty of books. You can interpret them how you want. That was my interpretation. And my only other negative is that there's probably quite low readability. Because like I said, the plot isn't where it's at, and once you sort of know everything, it probably won't be as engaging. But I loved it. I'm going to give it a 9.5. It was one of my faves of the entire year. And honestly, thank you to whoever sent that to me. Yeah, so I hope you like that review. I promise you, there is more content coming. There are so many ideas I've got for the future of this channel. So please stick around. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like and comment and engage. Follow me on Instagram at LEdwards.Books. Join the Discord and we can chat about stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace. And subscribe to Michael Nip.